Britain has produced some of the most celebrated cars in automotive history, but not every British vehicle earned a place in the history books for the right reasons. Some were pulled from production, some were restricted by law, and some were quietly phased out of UK roads altogether after proving too dangerous, too unstable, or too unpredictable to keep drivers safe. This isn't a list of the worst-looking cars or the slowest cars. This is a list of British vehicles that crossed a line, cars that regulators, insurers, or manufacturers themselves decided couldn't stay on British roads in their original form. Some of these stories are well known, others have been quietly forgotten. Let's count down 10 British cars that found themselves banned, restricted, or effectively pushed off UK roads, and the dangerous flaws that got them there. Number 10. The Invacar. Long before modern mobility scooters, the Invacar was Britain's answer to independent transport for disabled drivers. Introduced in the 1970s, these small, single-seat, fiberglass-bodied vehicles were issued by the government to thousands of disabled citizens. But the Invacar had a serious problem. It was dangerously unstable. Its narrow track and light weight made it prone to tipping over, especially at speed or during sudden direction changes on uneven roads. After decades of safety concerns and a rising number of accidents, the UK government officially withdrew Invacars from British roads in the early 2000s, offering owners a cash payment instead. It remains one of the only vehicles in British history to be formally phased out by direct government order on safety grounds. Number 9. The Reliant Robin. The Reliant Robin has become something of a national joke, but its instability was no laughing matter. Built from 1973 onward, this three-wheeled family car became infamous for its tendency to tip over during hard cornering. Its unusual single front-wheel design meant the car's center of gravity behaved very differently from a standard four-wheeled vehicle. While it was never formally banned outright, mounting safety concerns led to strict warnings from motoring organizations, and many insurers refused to cover it for anything beyond careful, low-speed driving. Its reputation for tipping over became so widespread that it fundamentally shaped how the public viewed three-wheeled vehicles for decades afterward. Number 8. The Bond Bug. The Bond Bug, launched in 1970, looked like nothing else on British roads. A bright orange wedge-shaped three-wheeler aimed at young drivers wanting something fun and affordable. But that same lightweight, narrow-track design that made it visually striking also made it dangerously unstable at speed. Reports of rollovers during hard cornering became common enough that many driving instructors actively warned new drivers against buying one. Production ended after just a few years, and surviving models today are treated more as design curiosities than practical vehicles, a reminder of how far style outpaced safety in this era. Number 7. The Austin Allegro. The Austin Allegro wasn't dangerous in the traditional sense. It wasn't wildly fast or unstable at speed, but its engineering flaws created real safety risks that eventually caught regulatory attention. Early models suffered from a design flaw where the steering wheel could actually separate from the steering column under certain conditions, a terrifying prospect for any driver mid-journey. Reports of this fault led to a wave of safety recalls throughout the 1970s. While the car itself was never banned outright, the scale of its safety issues damaged British Leyland's reputation for years and forced tighter safety inspection standards on future models. Number 6. The Triumph Herald convertible, early models. The Triumph Herald was beloved for its tight turning circle and approachable price. But early convertible versions had a lesser-known flaw, a weak chassis design that, in the event of a rollover, offered minimal protection for occupants. As safety standards evolved through the 1960s, several early Herald convertible models were flagged by safety inspectors for inadequate structural protection. While later models were reinforced, the earliest versions were quietly discouraged from continued road use by safety advisory bodies, effectively pushing them off UK roads well before their mechanical lifespan ended. Number 5. The Jowett Javelin. The Jowett Javelin was an ambitious and innovative saloon car when it launched after the war, praised for its aerodynamic design and advanced engineering. But that innovation came with a serious hidden flaw. Many Javelins suffered from severe engine cooling problems that, in rare but documented cases, led to engine fires while driving. As reports of these incidents grew, insurance companies became increasingly reluctant to cover the model, and many owners were effectively priced off the road by rising premiums. The car's reputation never recovered, and it quietly disappeared from British streets well before the end of the decade. Number 4. The Berkeley sports cars. Berkeley's lightweight fiberglass sports cars turned heads in the late 1950s with their futuristic looks and surprising agility. But that same lightweight construction became a serious safety liability. In the event of any collision, Berkeley's fiberglass bodies offered almost no structural protection for occupants, a fact that became increasingly alarming as UK road safety standards began to modernize through the 1960s. As safety inspection requirements tightened, Berkeley models became progressively harder to insure and maintain on public roads, effectively ending their era as practical daily vehicles. Number 3. The Gordon-Keeble GK1. The Gordon-Keeble GK1 promised luxury grand touring performance with a striking design and a powerful V8 engine. But its complex hand-built construction led to serious and recurring mechanical failures, some of which directly affected driver control. Reports of brake and steering component failures at speed alarmed both owners and safety inspectors alike. With limited production numbers and a manufacturer unable to resolve the underlying issues, the Gordon-Keeble quietly vanished from UK roads within just a few years, its safety reputation far outweighing its undeniable style. Number 2. The Sinclair C5. Few British vehicles generated as much controversy in such a short time as the Sinclair C5. Launched in 1985 as a futuristic, battery-powered personal vehicle, it promised to revolutionize urban transport. Instead, it became a national safety warning. Sitting just inches off the ground, the C5 was nearly invisible to larger vehicles, particularly at busy junctions and roundabouts. Safety organizations quickly raised alarms about its vulnerability in traffic, and its top speed was legally restricted, specifically because of how dangerous full-speed operation was deemed to be on public roads. Within months, road safety concerns had effectively ended its future as a serious mainstream vehicle, and it remains one of the most cautionary tales in British motoring history. At the top of our list is a car that combined jaw-dropping performance with a genuinely alarming safety flaw. The early production TVR Sagaris, released in the mid-2000s, was praised for its raw, uncompromising power and razor-sharp handling. But that same raw power came without the electronic safety systems standard in most performance cars of the era. No traction control, no stability assistance, nothing to catch a mistake at high speed. Combined with a notoriously twitchy rear end, insurance providers quickly classified it among the most dangerous performance cars on British roads, with premiums so high that many owners simply couldn't afford to keep driving it. For a car built with almost no compromise for safety, that lack of compromise ultimately proved to be its biggest flaw. What connects every car on this list isn't simply speed or style or ambition. It's the story of British engineering pushing boundaries faster than safety standards could keep up. Some of these vehicles were pulled by manufacturers, some were priced off the road by nervous insurers, and some were withdrawn directly by government order. But in every case, these cars represent a fascinating chapter in British motoring history. A reminder that innovation without caution can create legends and cautionary tales in equal measure. That's the story of 10 British cars that found themselves banned, restricted, or quietly pushed off UK roads. Some are remembered fondly, others serve as permanent warnings. But all of them tell us something important about the price of pushing engineering too far, too fast.